The champagne had gone warm in my hand when my mother said it. And I'm so proud to stand here tonight as the mother of my only daughter, Isabella. The room froze. Not long enough for anyone to correct her, just long enough for everyone to look at me. I smiled. Not because it didn't hurt, because the timing was perfect. I used to think betrayal was loud. Screaming matches. Slammed doors. Clear villains. I was wrong. Betrayal wears silk dresses and stands beneath chandeliers. It arrives to applause. It erases you politely. When my mother remarried, I tried. God, I really tried. I was 22, old enough to know better, young enough to hope. Isabella was 16 then, beautiful in that effortless way that never asks permission. She called me sis the first week. Hugged me too tightly. Borrowed my clothes. My mother glowed around her like she'd been waiting for a daughter who reflected better. I told myself love wasn't finite. I told myself I was imagining it. The first cuts were small. Family photos taken when I was busy. Holidays scheduled when I couldn't leave work. My name quietly slipping from conversations. Then came the larger ones. My college fund, set up by my late father, suddenly needed restructuring. The house deed was updated without discussion. A lawyer I never hired stopped returning my calls. I didn't cry. I watched. The proof came by accident. I came home early one afternoon. Her phone was charging on the counter. I wasn't snooping. I wasn't curious. The notification preview did the work for me. Once everything's in Isabella's name, we'll be free from her lawyer. My chest tightened. My hands didn't shake. That's when the grief ended. And the planning began. I didn't confront her. I didn't ask why. I asked questions. Quiet ones. I requested copies of documents, for my records. I met with my father's old financial advisor, the one she'd forgotten about. I learned about trusts, irrevocable ones, clauses triggered by misrepresentation. Turns out my father was thorough. Turns out betrayal has consequences, if you're patient. I let her keep going. I let her plan the gala. Tonight was her masterpiece. A charity event. Press invited. Influential donors. Isabella in white. My mother radiant in her role as proud singular parent. I was invited as an afterthought. Seated near the back. A courtesy presence. That was fine. The stage was already set. When she said the words, only daughter, something flickered in her eyes. Relief. Finality. She thought the story was over. That's when I raised my glass. I'm so sorry, I said, my voice slicing through the applause. Before we toast, may I ask a question? 100 eyes snapped toward me. My mother's smile stiffened. Of course. I tilted my head. Calm. Pleasant. Should we also celebrate the fact that you attempted to transfer assets from a protected trust? One that legally excludes both stepchildren and spouses? Gasps rippled through the room. I continued steady. Or should we wait until your lawyer explains it? He's here tonight. I made sure. Her face drained of color. Isabella looked between us, confused, afraid. I didn't look at her. This wasn't about her. The lawyer stood. He didn't want to. He had to. Words like breach, invalid transfer, fiduciary misconduct floated through the air. I watched my mother realize, inch by inch, that she wasn't in control anymore. Security approached. Guests whispered. Phones appeared. I took one step closer to the stage. Oh, I added softly. And just so we're clear, Dad's trust doesn't recognize me as your daughter. I smiled. It recognizes me as his. They ended the gala early. They couldn't end what followed. Audits. Lawsuits. Headlines. The charity distanced itself. Donors vanished. The house returned to trust control. Mine. My mother stopped calling. Isabella sent one message. I didn't know. I believed her. It didn't change anything. Now, weeks later, I sit alone in my father's study, the one she tried to sell. I don't feel triumphant. I feel clean. She wanted a daughter she could shape. I became a consequence she couldn't escape. Justice doesn't scream. It waits. And when it finally speaks, everyone listens.